So the market's been a little bit weak the last few days, bit of wet paper style. So with potential conflicts and a little bit of tension in a couple of countries, the only market that was able to react in real time was the open one, crypto. But perfect opportunity to go through in this video what I do with my portfolio when Bitcoin and the crypto market crashes. What do I look at? How do I look at levels, rebalancing, and obviously how to compose my mental emotions. Remember though, not all dips are for buying. Some of them are bearish trends, bullish trends. Sometimes you will find that assets are definitely falling behind, but you will find that the strongest will look obvious. Please do like this video and comment if you would like a full new portfolio breakdown. I have done some changes, but let's get into it. As always, not financial advice. This is how I do it through personal experience. I've been around a bit. I do things differently to others, so please keep the chat kind. So the one thing I want to go through first, and this is kind of a little bit obvious, is time in the market makes life a little bit simpler. Okay, on the screen, this is roughly when I was buying Bitcoin, and then eventually, well, 3-4 months later, I was buying altcoins. Yay! However, fundamentals will tell you that over time, you will become accustomed to these things, these little crashes that tend to happen. Now, I've talked about in previous videos, common 20 to 30% pullback on Bitcoin is relatively normal. Also, I've talked about a potential 30 to 40 to maybe even 50% correction on altcoins is normal. You will get used to it, right? So remember that. Another thing that also helps here is being in sync with the market. Buying low, selling high in previous cycles, being able to take profit, and I'm going to come on to that in a second, will make life a bit easier. I did a video not too long ago saying that I took a bit of profit on NIA, I took it on Entangle, and I took it on a couple of other bits and pieces, just a little bit of like distribution. Why? Because if you buy low, that's kind of how it rolls, right? That allows you then to manage your portfolio better, which we're going to go on to in a second. So as I say, right, did this video 4 weeks ago now. What day did I do this video on? The 18th of March, when the market was pretty high. I had a level identified on a couple of things, and I thought, you know what, it's a really good time just to take a little bit off the table. What I did with that money was I put most of it in Bitcoin, held that. Bitcoin's obviously performed better than altcoins over the course of the last couple of weeks. And I've also taken some money out the market and put it into Bitcoin mining stocks and other diversification pots. However, I did keep some spare just laying around, and I was able to rebalance my portfolio and use that. Now, if you've got profit, it's a much easier activity when these dips happen. Now, a lot of people think taking profit's a bit weak and a bit paper-handed sort of style, but you look like an absolute genius now when you do it. However, when you talk about it, when the market is euphoric, it becomes a little bit of a different game. I get a lot of shit for taking profit, and I don't quite understand why. However, to win in the market, you've got to survive. And to survive, you've got to take profit. No one goes broke taking profit, right? I know. So regarding that, to have something available to you, now you don't have to have profit. You might look at your portfolio and go, right, this is high, I'm not going to buy. I'm going to just put money into the market slowly, keep it in tether. You can do that. Sometimes putting money in the market, especially if in the UK, it's a bit of a ball ache, right? Links below, by the way, to BitGet and something, I can't remember what else. There's all kinds. They're the only open ones. I've been saying for a while, a lot of them are closed. It's a nightmare. Sorry if you're in the UK. However, when you've got money aside and you can use it, it's so much easier. Then these opportunities come, literally. So let's talk about the chart and structure, because I think what we need to kind of work out is when to buy, when not to buy. Moving average 21 is on my chart there. That is the weekly time frame, and that is a really good situation where you can look at the market, right? When you look at altcoins, it looks a little bit different. We've retested this level. Now, I pinpointed one of my Patreon videos, and I'll talk about that in a second, where we could maybe go into this level. This is just how the markets roll, right? This is a swing. We pulled into a level of demand. We rejected it quite a lot, and then crash. Just the way it is, right? So even though there's fundamental elements and conflict at play here, the chart will tell you so much of a story. It'll tell you that we've rejected a level and it could be a swing low. We need to talk about swing lows now. So every single altcoin has history. If you zoom out and look at the chart, and the easiest way to do this, in my opinion, is go to the line chart and look at where things, now the reason why I use a line chart to make it easier for a novice is they are the closure of the candle. So when you start putting little lines on your chart, so let's just, I don't know, give me a box. This level here, right? See this level region here? That to a lot of people will look like a very obvious place to put some monies. Why? Because it's been a level of resistance here, a breakup, and then we've had this obvious rejection, and then we obviously broken above it. And then where do we go and retest? We retested this a number of times. This could be a level of interest for BNB, as an example, right? Now, again, going back to that profit situation, if you've got some profit, you can then put some tether on the line in your exchanges and put limit orders in, and then they get hit. Now, this is a thing. Everyone's fearful of this situation. What if it goes low? Well, the reality is it can always go lower, right? That's the situation, the game that you're playing. Crypto is very volatile, right? You are never going to catch the bottoms. You're never going to catch the top. So if we look at, say, I don't know, ICP, it's melted beyond all oblivion. But you can see here, like this is an old bit of analysis. There was a level here where we've been rejected multiple times over the course of multiple weeks, right? It was very, very shit. Broken up and deviated back into it. A lot of people would have got absolutely destroyed in this little run up here. But the reality is here, it's still low. There's still a level here of absolute interest where people might well be looking at, plonking some orders. Even at the low points of these kind of wicks, isn't a bad place to buy versus, say, $20, right? That is a huge deviation. So people will be hedging their bets and buying down here versus up here. However, the smart money does that and the dumb money does the opposite. They buy the tops, right? Again, if we look at, say, Ethereum Classic, this is a random example. Again, why is this important? Dumb money. When we talk about managing portfolios, people may look at this and think this is Ethereum, right? It happened in the previous cycle. But people will use that to make money. And look what's happened here, right? We're pulled back quite aggressively. And where do we stop? Well, look at all these wicks here. You've got support levels here. You've got resistance here, resistance, right? Again, wick stopped here. There will be orders in and around here. You've just got to look at certain levels. That's all you've got to do. One thing that I cannot recommend enough is not so much my Patreon. You can join that if you want. Don't have to. But join a good community. A good community that will help you and aid you in this situation through experience will help you massively. Learning Crypto is another one, link below. Patreon's another one, link below. As I say, you don't have to, but joining a good community is really good. I'm going to come on to why you shouldn't do the bad stuff at the end of this video, because I think that is probably where people get most of the problems from, in my opinion. So this is an interesting tweet that came up in my Discord before. Like it. It's realistic analysis of obvious situations. We've got halving coming 3 days away. Spot ETFs already happening. Long liquidations, reaccumulations. People are actually buying. We probably are going to go much higher. It's a bull market, right? However, something here we need to talk about that's really, really obvious. This might be the last time you have to rebalance. And I have, as I said before, I probably will do a portfolio video. I have rebalanced my portfolio. I do this quite a lot. I like to move stuff around. Why? You will find stuff that is not very good. You will find things that will have problems, and you will see that and notice that as you are in them for longer. You need to redo your research. So in this situation, when I talk about how I handle my wealth, the good time to buy and rejiggle stuff is when the market's crumbling, because if you're going to swap something that's like not doing very well, the chances are the thing that you're going to buy is probably also down, right? That kind of makes it obvious. So when we talk about the likes of Bitcoin halving around the corner, historic tells us that the market dips, the market kind of crumbles a little bit, and people tend to wash into Bitcoin and altcoins tend to get a bit punished, and that's why dominance spikes. There's probably the last chance here, kind of, that your altcoins may well get a bit of a rebalance. I have sold stuff. I have bought different things. I have moved stuff around. And now I'm happy with my portfolio, because over a 6-month period, some stuff just didn't materialize at all. Some stuff did great. Some stuff is developing some actual really good stuff. Some stuff isn't. And I don't want to be a part of that. So in terms of managing your portfolio during a crash, this might be the only time you can do it. You need to stop looking at your portfolio. You need to get rid of and delete and remove yourself from Telegram communities. That's where the worst of it happens, right? As I say, join a good community, not a community for a coin. Developers do something, sir, when pump, scammers everywhere, right? And just idiots and people married to the bags that abuse you because you've got an opinion is a bit of a problem, right? That's what I find myself as a problem, in my life is I'm an influencer, kind of. And if I have an opinion that doesn't marry up to other people's, they abuse. Look at the comment section in any of my videos. There's always someone that goes against it, which is fine. I don't mind that. But when you are literally abused for having an opinion because you found something that you dislike and you voice that in a Telegram community, you will get bludgeoned. And then you feel like, well, what's the point of doing this? You have got to think for yourself, right? Every single investment that you put your money into, you're not in charge of that. You are literally putting your money in the faith of a load of developers and teams to do something to make you money. That's the bottom line, right? Joining those Telegram communities is an absolute waste of time, in my opinion, because you're going to get so many different conflicting opinions and people are not going to be happy with what's happening. You've got to do your own research and look at your own thing and don't get an opinion from someone else. That's where the biggest problem lies. So remove your portfolio manager if you are struggling. Don't check it. Like, one thing is, I don't really check mine very often. Again, probably comes down to point one. I've been around for a while. Step number 2, get yourself out of Telegram communities. I don't join any of them. I'm in one, and that's it. But that one's all right. However, for most of them, they're horrible. And if all else fails, boys and girls, just toggle whatever portfolio manager you got into Bitcoin. Looking at your Satoshi values is much better sometimes looking at USD. It doesn't go up as much or down. It's not as volatile. It's nowhere near as crazy. But yeah, it does make it a bit easier to manage. However, that being said, that is what I do, right? I keep myself sane by not looking at my portfolio, not getting delved into Telegram groups. I used to, but not anymore. It's too much of a ball ache. You know, rebalance your portfolio, be able to do research and add new stuff if you wanted to, or if you like getting rid of something or wanted to just sell part of it because you bought low and you got profit, that's much easier too. There's so many factors here. But the main thing here is we're in a bull market. What are you doing? Why are you selling? You shouldn't be selling. You should be buying. You should be buying the dips. We are in a bullish market trend. ETFs, this number is growing. They're buying. The data is probably going to be absolutely savage in the next few days due to these dips. So, last chance maybe to buy dips, rebalance your portfolio. But at the end of the day, there's nothing magical here. I'm just a normal guy that does its own thing. I don't care if you agree or not. That's just the way it is. But anyways, today's video is done. Please do watch this video that I'm recommending on the screen next to my head and probably covering my head. It's probably going to be the one that you need to watch to kind of understand why, the psychological elements of being able to buy and sell is key.